What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Watchtower podcast. See, I'm back at the Watchtower thing. It's so programmed into me. Let's start that again. Welcome in, everybody. Get it. Welcome to the Prophecy Misfits podcast. It's just been so ingrained in my head. It's crazy. But yeah, welcome into the Prophecy Misfits podcast. Glad to have you guys here. This episode 260. It is Ain't No Santa Watching. Ain't Santa Watching. I'm all over the place today, as you can tell. But yeah, so welcome in. Crazy times. But yeah, this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We get together and we watch for the signs of the return of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We don't know exactly when he's coming, but we will know the season of his return. We're commanded to watch for these signs and things with the construction of the Antichrist beast system, stepping stones to prophetic events that will happen post-rapture into the day of the Lord and all these things. So glad to have you guys here. Glad y'all are here. And yeah, episode 260, Ain't Santa Watching. Basically, we're going to be going over some surveillance stuff, some things when it comes to, the wonderful things, technology that's always watching us, keeping track of us and whatnot. I still have people asking questions. How do I make sure that they're not watching me? And I'm sitting there, and the truth is just, you can't. They're always watching. That's just how it goes. But yeah, so we got some advancements when it comes to that. We got some things when it comes to the Ray-Ban Meta glasses and how they've got things when it comes to basically pulling up people's social profiles, using language translators in real time and everything like that. We got some stuff when it comes to some DARPA programs. Little details on some recent DARPA programs coming into play. And then there's a recent event over in Qatar, and the President Borj Brende of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, he was there, and he was talking about one algorithm to rule them all, which is kind of interesting. That's fascinating wording, especially with how we understand what Scripture tells us is going to be coming. So pretty interesting stuff going on. So but yeah, glad to have you guys here, and hopefully everybody is doing all right tonight. So let's see what y'all are up to in the chat. Let's go right here. Homeward Bound. How's it going? Homeward Bound. Good to see you. Alyssa Harpazzo, Toby, great Bible study on this. Oh, okay. You guys are having personal conversation. I apologize, but good to see you. Thanks for being here. What's up, Matt? Good to see you. Cheddar. Ooh, cheese. Who's got cheese? I could always go for some cheese. Good to see you, Matt. Thanks for being here, though, man. Jellyfish 67. Good to see you. Got guys over installing an air conditioner. I can breathe cool. It's hot today at 42. 42 is hot? What? Y'all are nuts. You out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Now this world is here. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. And please be nice to my tools. They do the best they can. Let's see what we got. Victoria Vigier. Is that it? I can never remember. Good to see you, Victoria. Thanks for being here. And glad you're here. And hopefully you are having, or you had a good week and are having a good weekend. Elena Victory, never believe in Santa. Satan. We're not going to get into that, but good to see you, Elena. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're doing all right. We got Patrick Starr. What's up, Patrick? Good to see you, man. And hopefully everything is going all right for you. We got Rick Whitaker. What's going on, Rick? Thanks for being here. Let's see. We got Stephanie as well talking about cheesecakes. Hopefully one of those are on its way over here. Just saying, Stephanie. Good to see you. We got Sunshine 2007. Good to see it from Maine. Well, hello. Good to see you, Maine. Or Sunshine from Maine. All over the place. Good to see you, Sunshine. Let's see. We got Jalapeno. What's up, Joseph Pena? How you doing, man? Thanks for being here. And hopefully you're having a good weekend. And hopefully you are doing all right. Today, we got Cindy J as well. Good to see you, Cindy. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Beth Watkins. Freezing here, I bet. It's got that cold thing going over there. Plus pencil. I don't know how y'all can deal with snow. I don't know how you guys do it. I lived in Arkansas where we had some snow a couple weeks of the year, but it's just that was enough for me to just get me out of here. I want nothing to do with it. That's for sure. But I don't know how you do that. Non-typical. Hey, I'm non-typical as well. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. And hopefully you are doing all right tonight. Let's see here. What else we got? We got Maya is here as well. Good to see you, Maya. Thanks for being here. Nightstar is here as well. Good to see you, Nightstar. Let's see who else we got. Misfit Tina is here. Good to see you, Misfit Tina. Talking about chocolate. Ooh, chocolate's good. Don't let Peanut have any of that chocolate, though. It's not good. Good to see you. Let's see. We got Keith Ray as well. Good to see you, Keith. Cindy Anderson is here as well. Beth Watkins is here. Good to see you, Beth. CL Moody. Good to see you. And glad you're here. Slow Driver is here as well. DC is here saying hello. So good to see you, DC. Let's see. We got Diana Ralph. Good to see you. Caramel corn. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Man, I'm hungry now. Y'all are making me hungry. We got Nancy West. We got cheese. We got cheesecake. We got caramel corn. I mean, we're really rocking now. That's some good stuff. Nancy West is here. Good to see you. We got Terry Kissamore as well. Good to see you, Terry. Who else we got? Jellyfish. Becky is here. Good to see you, Becky. And let's see. Cheddar Vale. Good to see you, Cheddar Vale. Look at the doggo picture. I love the doggos. Karen is here as well as Gina Cross as well. So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. I don't pick you out. It's not don't like you. It's just we got some stuff to get to tonight. So let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
I think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, housekeeping. We got a lot of stuff to go over today with everything. So I was seeing some stuff in the chat that some of y'all are dealing with sicknesses and stuff like that. If I'm not as high energy, I seem to be fighting something off. I've been fighting it off for the past couple of days. It hasn't gotten any worse, so I think I'm winning that fight. But that's probably why I'm not as energetic or kind of monotone tonight. So I apologize if that's boring for anybody. I don't want to bore y'all, but yeah. So I'm fighting something off. So I'm with you guys on that one. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping here. Usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That's why we do this whole show. That's why we do this whole thing, is in order to reach people who have questions, who are lost, and ultimately need the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you guys can do me a solid and like, share, subscribe, it does help reach those people. And of course, that's, again, us as Christians, that's what we're called to do, is reach out for others. And then if you guys can, follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. We are live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and the website, but Rumble's the backup channel. If we get booted off YouTube, we'll be over on Rumble. Odyssey's kind of the backup to the backup. So if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw stuff up there as, whenever I feel like it, pretty much. Just going to be honest with you, whenever I feel like it. But I always post links and stuff like that to new videos and live streams and stuff like that. So good place to stay up to date. And then your one-stop shop to know what is going on is the website, WretchedWatchmen.com. It's up and running. I've been doing a lot of work on it the past month. There's a ton more stuff on there. So if you haven't been to the website in a while, it's pretty much got everything that you need to know of what's going on. I've been really doing some work on that. So, of course, we're live streaming there. You'll always find the latest podcasts. You'll find the video series. You'll find announcements, the church finder, the merch stores just added up there, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's the place to go if you want to know what's going on at all times. That'll always be the place that I do it. So, all right. So some announcements coming up. Like I said, got a few things we got to talk about. The first thing going on is the Prophecy Misfits merch. The Misfits merch is up and running now. So they're going for pre-order right now, and then they'll be shipping out December 30th. So you can go ahead and start ordering those things if you want them. There's 2 different shirt designs. There's like 3 different colors. There's 2 different sweatshirts, and then there's the mug as well. So the store is up and running, so you guys can go and do that. You can go straight to Harpazo Clothing and find it there, or you can actually get linked over to Harpazo from my website as well as the link for the store has been added to the description of the video as well. So with that, I got to make sure that I put this out there because this is the most important part. with it is I made an announcement that I didn't want the profits for the shirts. Toby didn't want the profits for the shirts. And so we were trying to figure out what on earth to do with that. And so we have come to, we came to the idea of making the profits be donated to go and help people. So I picked a place out, and it is the Houston Pregnancy Help Center. And so basically what this is a Christian-run pro-life pregnancy help center that helps mothers in unplanned pregnancy, or if they're in a situation where they're just not able to, take care of things, and they're thinking about doing abortion and whatnot. This organization is actually there to help the mothers to save the lives of the babies. So I have a connection with pregnancy help centers because when I was in California, we had one that was attached to our church, and I knew the director of the place. And I think it's just fantastic what these ladies do when it comes to trying to help the mothers save the babies, as well as, because it's a Christian organization, they present the gospel of Jesus Christ for all of those who are willing to accept it. So this is a thing that I'm very excited about. I'm pumped that we're going to be able to help in this type of way. And so it's a local group. They've got multiple clinics all over Houston. They've even got one that's like in the ghetto of Houston to try and help those women in those regions as well. So it's all about helping mothers with unplanned pregnancy. It's all about helping try and keep them away from abortion, and try and help them with any pro-life, life-affirming option to save the baby, as well as they present the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I think this is going to be a great opportunity. And so yeah, when you buy a shirt, I'm not making any money off of it. Toby's not making any money off of it. All of the profits are going towards a monthly donation that we're going to be giving to the Houston Pregnancy Help Center. So I think it's going to be great, and I think it's going to be fantastic. So be confident in knowing that not only will you have this cool Fits Bear shirt on your shirt, but you'll be helping the unborn as well. It's going to be awesome. And then another announcement, because of all the crazy stuff going on with we got Christmas coming up and New Year's and stuff like that. Both of them fall on Christmas Eve falls on Tuesday, and New Year's Eve falls on Tuesday. So there's going to be no live shows on those 2 days. So no show coming up this Tuesday. We'll have a live show on Saturday, and then no show the next Tuesday after that. And then we should be back on schedule after that. So the next 2 Tuesdays, no live shows. So don't be showing up. There's going to be nothing going on for those. Since there's going to be a lot of downtime, I'll be putting out some videos here and there to kind of fill in the space and keep you guys updated the best I can without doing live shows, obviously. So just be aware of that. You'll find that announcement on the website if you want to keep track of what's going on. And then the other one is I did some updating. This one's kind of a smaller one, but just to make sure that there's no confusion because of the rebrand of the podcast, changing kind of colors and stuff like that. Usually I do borders on my videos. I do, it used to be a teal border for clip videos taken from the podcast, and then a red border for brand new videos. Well, now it's getting switched. There's going to be a teal border with the logo in the corner for clip videos from the podcast, and then there's going to be an orange border with Fits Bear in the corner for the clip videos and stuff. So just be aware, teal means new, orange means clip. So just to let you guys know, because I still have people asking questions. Didn't I see this already? And it's on there that it's a clip video. So just thought I'd put that out there for you guys. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support this channel and what I do, I got donation links down below: CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. This channel runs, again, solely off of your guys' donations. I don't monetize. I don't make anything from ads or views. I don't sell anything. I don't do any of the paywall stuff. I don't do any of that type of stuff. Run solely off of your guys' generous donations. So if you guys would like to help me keep this going and allow me to continue to do what I do, those links are below. And thank you guys for supporting me and allowing me to do this. It's truly just an incredible blessing. And I'm just so grateful as we start rolling into 2025. Crazy crazy times that we're in, but I'm grateful that you guys basically allow me to do this. So thank you guys for that. All right. That's all I got for that. I told you there's a lot of housekeeping, a lot of stuff going on. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the Wretched Weather Report.
Everybody got their fancy hats? Let's go!
All right, so the Wretched Weather Report, what we do is we keep track of the trends when it comes to things like earthquakes and volcanoes and storms and stuff like that. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a geometrist. I'm not a proctologist. But still, we just keep track of what's going on with earthquakes and stuff like that, because as we know, these are part of the birth pains. They're going to increase in size and frequency as we continue through these last days post-rapture into the day of the Lord and whatnot. So I think it's always good just to keep an eye on this stuff and then see what's going on. So this past week, as far as earthquakes go, just keeping track of the 5.5 magnitude and up. We had a 5.9 in Niafu, Tonga. Then there's a 5.5 in Amaha, one of those, Indonesia. Then there's the big one was the 7.3 in Port Vila, Vanuatu. Then there was a 5.5 in Port Vila, Vanuatu, followed by another 5.5 in Port Vila, Vanuatu. Vanuatu is a pretty active region when it comes to earthquakes. They're constantly getting hit over there, not usually in the 7 range, but it's usually a pretty active earthquake spot. Then there's a 5.6 in Levuka, Fiji, 5.7 in the Macquarie Islands, and then there was just not too long ago a 6.1 in Port Vila, Vanuatu as well. So they've got some pretty big ones hitting over there in that area. As far as volcanoes, we got 42 volcanoes actively erupting. So we're kind of below our normal range of 44 to 48. So we've kind of dropped down. This is down 4 from last week. And so we got 6 in North America, 6 in South America, 2 in Europe, which is down 1, 3 in Antarctica, 4 in Africa, 13 in Asia, which is down 3, and then 8 in Oceania. So we've kind of gone down below the normal spot that we sit in for volcano eruptions. So pretty interesting stuff. So, all right, and that is the Wretched Weather Report. You guys ready to get into the rest of what we got going on? Okay. So if you got questions, go ahead and throw questions in the chat. Make sure you put question in all caps. I'll get to them at the end. And if you don't put question in all caps, it may not get sent in. And again, I appreciate the rebels, but if you don't play by the rules, you might not get to play at all. So that's just how it goes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the first thing. So technology is one of those, well, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm pretty sure that we've all figured that out at this time, and I'm sure we've all figured out that technology is playing a big part in advancing into the beast system, as well as being an eye in the sky. You know, the old song, you better watch out, you better not cry, tell you why. Santa Claus is or something. He sees you when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake. I can't remember how that goes, but still, you guys know what I'm talking about. Where it's this idea of it's always watching, but the thing is, it's not Santa that's always watching. It's always DARPA that's watching. It's always the big brother that's watching. It's always the eye in the sky, the Luciferians that are always watching. And they're as we move forward, the technology is getting worse and worse and worse, specifically when it comes to handheld surveillance systems that just allow access into our everyday lives. And so there was recently a story about how some I think they're college kids, they took a pair of the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. If you guys don't know what those are, they announced them. They're kind of controversial because it was always like video capturing everybody and whatnot, but it comes with a video camera and AI attached to it. And they look like regular glasses. Well, these guys managed to do a little connection of that video feed into an AI program, which allows them to pull up people's information in real time as they walk through crowds. And so if we take a look, it says college students used Meta's smart glasses to dox people, basically get their personal information in real time. The project, designed as a demo, shows how easily existing technology can be misused and highlights how to protect yourself. And it goes to say 2 Harvard students have created an eerie demo of how smart glasses can use facial recognition tech to instantly dox people's identities, phone numbers, and addresses. The most unsettling part is the demo uses current, widely available technology like Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses and public databases. Onfu Nguyen, one of the 2 students, posted a video showcasing the tech in action. It says, dubbed the Eye X-ray, the tech works by using the Meta smart glasses abilities to live stream video to Instagram. A computer program then monitors that stream and uses AI to identify faces. Those photos are then fed into public databases to find names, addresses, phone numbers, and even relatives. That information is then fed back through a phone app. So basically, this person, they've got their glasses on and they've got their phone. And as it's recording, it takes pictures of people's faces, sends it over to the AI program that's on a computer that it's connected to. The AI program takes that face and scans through all the database of finding this person, who they are, their social profiles, their addresses, phone numbers, work history, anything that's public. And then it gets sent back to the person's phone in real time so they can have everybody's information right there in front of them. This is, you guys want to talk about dystopian? We're here. It says in the demo, you can see Nguyen and Kane Ardefio, the other student behind the project, use the glasses to identify several classmates, their addresses, and the names of relatives in real time. Perhaps more chilling, Nguyen and Ardefio are also shown chatting up complete strangers on a public transit, pretending that as if they don't know them based on the information gleaned from the technology. Now, it says facial recognition tech has been frighteningly accurate for a while now. Pretty much every single government out there that has a digital database is using some type of facial technology now. Even the ones that claim that they have laws in place that don't allow them to do it. There's proof out there that these places like police and the DHS or whatever homeland security that they have in these countries, they say that there's loopholes to get around it and they still use it anyways. Who cares about laws, right? Who cares about privacy? That doesn't matter. But yeah, this stuff is being used everywhere. And it says an eye X-ray is largely just chaining together a bunch of existing technologies. It relies in part on PIM eyes, which the New York Times described as in 2022 as alarmingly accurate face search engine that anyone can use. Concerns around this tech have been heightened since it came out that Clearview AI. If you guys don't know Clearview AI, I talked about them in my breakdown of Peter Thiel because that's one of the companies that he helped fund and direct and navigate and is using it a part of his techno plethora of Big Brother technocracy, basically. And it says, have heightened since it came out that Clearview AI it was using facial recognition to help law enforcement. Still is. What's new about Nguyen and Ardefio's demo is the tech is being paired with a consumer gadget that is discreet and easy to access. This is something that anybody can get at any time, and they just look like normal glasses. You really don't know what's going on with that situation. So if people on the street, college kids, are able to create something like this, just imagine what Big Brother's got going on over you. So here's a little video of them using it in action. Check this out.
To use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
Right? Oh, this is me volunteering.
June Lee, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This photo was created. This is like from
You're from Bergen County Academies?
Yeah.
Your Korean name is Ju-eun?
Cambridge Community Foundation. Oh, hi, ma'am. Wait, are you Betsy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah. It's great to meet you. I'm Kane.
So here's how it works. We stream the video from the glasses straight to Instagram and have a computer program monitor the stream. We use AI to detect when we're looking at someone's face. Then we scour the internet to find more pictures of that person. Finally, we use data sources like online articles and voter registration databases to figure out their name, phone number, home address, and relatives' names. and it's all fed back to an app we wrote on our phone.
Using our glasses, we were able to identify dozens of people, including Harvard students, without them ever even knowing.
It's a scary world out there, guys. It's a scary world. And the thing is this stuff is not new. You can go back, I think it was 8, no, maybe not that far. 8 years ago, maybe, I think. I've shown a clip from a video game on here, from a game called Watch Dogs, that talks about the Internet of Things technology and stuff like that. The basis of that game is a guy who walks around with his phone, and he's able to scan people and get this type of history on people. And so it seems like these college kids are basically just doing exactly what that game told us that this technology, this Internet of Things technology, is going to be able to do. And so having social profiles, having everything that you have in a data system, a digital data system, allows access to this. Now, this is just what college kids can get from the internet. Now, just imagine what the government is using with all of the data that they have on you that you can't get from the internet, that you submit to them in order to live in the country and be able to do anything. And so this is just continuing to show that when your entire life is on a digital system, that having either Big Brother or AI rule over that will allow full access to information, and they'll know more about you than you know about yourself. And this is something that I've been talking about for a long time. This isn't anything new. They've been doing this for decades now. The simulation programs where there's the digital twin of you that's running around doing everything in these simulations in order to predict your movements. Again, they'll know your movement before you even think that you're going to make that move. That's how sophisticated these things are going. Just imagine that having this in the hands of somebody like the Antichrist. You want to talk about lying signs and wonders? He's going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot of it with technology, that's for sure. But that's not the only thing with these glasses. It comes with the AI system on there that allows real-time language translation. Now, this is where things get a little Babylonian, to say the least. It says Meta's Ray-Bans can now do real-time live AI and translation. Meta's camera-equipped Ray-Bans have had a lot of AI features on board already, but they're getting 2 more big ones. Always on continuous AI assistance and arriving onto the glasses starting today for owners who have early access to Meta's features, as well as onboard translation. Both these features were demoed by Mark Zuckerberg at Meta's Connect Developer Conference earlier this year. The feature involves continuous audio and camera recording as opposed to specific individual prompts, allowing the Ray-Bans to be used as an extended period of time with the AI features turned on. Saying Meta Smart Live AI begins the always-on feature. The glasses LED light stays on when always-on live AI is activated, and Meta keeps a recording of the conversation that can be referred to throughout the AI session. Of course, they keep the record, because anything that you're recording or anything like that, they always have access to that because they need that for their own AI programs and to sell your personal information and so on and so forth. For translation, it should work automatically while talking, with the translation coming in via the glasses with a slight delay. See, now we're getting to the point where we're getting back to this one language thing. Everything, again, prophecy is patterns. And so we had the move into the Tower of Babel, the Babylonian system back in scripture. And now we're getting to the point where it's starting to move back into that again. Again, the beast system is just basically trying to rebuild Babels. So you go with the one world government, the one world religion, the one world economy, and there was the one world language as well, which was one of those things that doesn't necessarily get talked about a lot, but we're seeing a lot of technology coming into play that has to do with bringing in the one world language. We have these here that are doing this. We have AI programs that can do this in real time. I've shown some stuff when it comes from the AI. I think it's Google's recent AI that they put out, where you just say something and the phone just automatically puts it into the language right then and there. I've talked about things. There's an Indian payment program that's technology based, where if you just say the amount of money that you want to transfer to somebody, it'll automatically translate to the correct language and send the appropriate money just by speaking. So it's a money transfer program and a one language program in one, that they're working on that as well. And so the world just continues to move back into the direction of this one world Babylonian system, getting back to the Tower of Babel. So I think it's interesting that we continue to see more and more direction about going back there. And so it's, it's one of those things where we can learn so much if we just open up our Bible and read what it was like back then. We can see the same things unfolding today. So again, prophecies, patterns, and just continues to move in that direction. Now, with that, kind of sticking on the same theme here, let's take a look at and see what DARPA is cooking up. I always like to check out DARPA from time to time, see what they got going out. They're always putting out new contracts and new documents of things that they're working on and resources and whatnot. So I think it's always good to keep track of them, especially since they're one of the main people who created the biggest data collection system ever in the history of ever. DARPA was the one that invented the internet. So, of course, they're going to always have more information and more technology and more programs and all this stuff in order to collect data. And so DARPA is looking to build a one world digital file system. Now, this is one of those things where people might go, so what? But it's one of those things where we've seen some recent documents in some big and high places come through that's all centered around a one world file share system. And it's interesting that around the same time, DARPA is wanting to build this if they haven't already built it yet. So it says DARPA is looking to build a one world file system to allow the transfer, the data transfer between governments on this one system. This comes after, of course, the Pact for the Future and the Global Digital Compact Annex that's a part of it. That has a lot to do with the digitalization of data collection, sharing, and all the different programs that go along with it. Sharing is part of that. How do we do cross-border transfers of these shares? But also along with it, the UN Cybercrime Treaty was one of the main components of allowing cross-border full surveillance and data sharing programs. So coming with it is all about, we have all this data, all this personal data on people. And I've got this data on this person in my country. How can I get this data about this person over to the other people in the other country? You know how we're always, going in the different countries and moving around and stuff like that? Well, they need to be able to transfer the data on people as they enter into that country as well, because they're always watching you there as well. Again, always feels like somebody's watching you, right? And so with those policies, those agendas, those documents, whatever you want to call them, with the emphasis on being not only the collecting, but the sharing, cross-border sharing of our personal information, they got to have a system that can do it. Well, it seems DARPA is wanting to do that. So if you take a look, this goes out on sam.gov. This is where a lot of these organizations put their contracts out for people to see. It says DARPA International Government File Sharing Program is now active. And it says the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, or DARPA, seeks information for IT services to develop and maintain a single file sharing platform to facilitate file sharing, software developments, data manipulation, and real-time collaboration at the controlled unclassified information level for DARPA and international allied nation government partners for a project-specific effort for up to 5 years. And so this is an entire data sharing program for DARPA and anybody that they're allied with, which is pretty much everybody. There's no, this excludes Russia and Iran and China and all these. No, they all work together. And so it's about sharing data with each other on that too. This is to facilitate market research. The government is looking to identify qualified sources, both small businesses and other than small businesses, in order to do it. So they're going all over the place to find anybody who will help them create this file sharing program. So it's interesting that this contract is coming out so close after the Cybercrime Treaty and the Pact for the Future Global Compact Annex as well. So very interesting that that's coming along. And so, you have these glasses and this technology that's able to just take somebody's picture, feed it through AI, and then give you everybody's entire life story on your phone within seconds. You have language translation. You've got cross-border file transfer from DARPA. But this is nothing new for DARPA, because if we keep going, we know that they are one of the main people when it comes to dystopian developments. They're huge on anything that has to do with invasive, privacy-wrecking systems that can just have full access to anybody's life. And so anybody, show of hands, how many people remember a program called LifeLog? Anybody remember LifeLog? It was early 2000s. You may not know the name, but you know what it turned into. So if we go back to 2003, LifeLog is part of DARPA's research in cognitive computing. The research is fundamentally focused on developing revolutionary capabilities that would allow people to interact with computers in much more natural and easy ways that exist today. This new generation of cognitive computers will understand their users and help them manage their affairs more effectively. The research is designed to extend the model of a personal digital assistant, or PDA, to one that might eventually become a personal digital partner. LifeLog is a program that steps towards that goal. The LifeLog program addresses a targeted and very difficult problem: how individuals might capture and analyze their own experiences, preferences, and goals. So how do people capture their life and store it and save it? The LifeLog capability would provide an electronic diary to help the individuals more accurately, I can speak, recall and use his or her past experiences to be more effective in current or future tasks. The goal of the LifeLog is to turn the notebook computers or personal digital assistants used today into much more powerful tools. And they say for the war fighter, but something that we know about DARPA is they're always developing technology for the military, but then sending it down for us to use as well. To build a cognitive computing system, a user must store, retrieve, and understand data about his or her past experiences. This entails collecting diverse data, understanding how to describe the data, learning which data and what relationships among them are important, and extracting useful information. The research will determine the types of data to collect and when to collect it. The goal of the data collection is to see what I see rather than to see me. Users are in complete control of their own data collection efforts, decide when to turn the sensors on or off, and decide who will share the data. Well, if anybody, if that sounds familiar, that's because it sounds like many of the social media programs and websites and stuff that we have today, which were all designed off of LifeLog, including one like Facebook. LifeLog was DARPA's post 9/11 surveillance program that launched in 2003, and it was connected to their Total Information Awareness program, or the TIA program. And so this was part of the whole thing with 9/11 about total surveillance and being able to have Big Brother Bill and access to everybody's lives that they want to, all in the name of national security, which is a giant lie. This was part of the total surveillance data collecting system that was designed before 9/11. This stuff was designed before 9/11, but didn't launch until after, because they needed something big to launch it. And so this is where we get into the territory of, yes, 9/11 was indeed a false flag event. I'm not going to get into all the details of it. At the moment you say false flag, people say, so you mean people didn't die? Yes, people absolutely did. But again, the government kills their own people all the time to get their stuff going through all the time. But they needed to plan something big in order to get this through. That's why the Patriot Act was written before 9/11. This whole system, the TIA system, was designed before 9/11, and all this stuff was ready to go. So once 9/11 hit, it was already there and ready to go, just like the war on terror as well. Everything was planned, and they just needed an event to trigger it all to happen. And so the TIA program was designed before that. Then LifeLog came about in 2003. And so it was built to be a database of tracking someone's entire life. But you can only get so much through forceful surveillance. So forced surveillance only goes so far. If you can manipulate people to voluntarily give up their personal data for fun, it's a lot easier. You know the old saying, if you can catch more bees with honey than something else. I can't remember the whole thing. You can catch more flies with honey than whatever. I can't remember the other thing, but basically they can do all the forceful, surveillance that they want. But the trick is, how do you manipulate society in order to personally give up private information that only they can voluntarily give up? Well, you create a program like these things, and you do social media where it's always pictures of who, what, when, where, how, why, all your associations, even your types of food that you eat, and the books that you read, and your dog, and what shirt you're wearing, and what color shirt you're wearing that day, and all these things. Everybody voluntarily gives up this information that allows AI to go in and use it for these databases so they can know more about us than we know about ourselves. But the problem is they received too much backlash for it being too invasive on people's privacy. So LifeLog was shut down February 4th, 2004. Facebook launched February 4th, 2004. Isn't that mighty convenient that the same type of system would launch the same day that LifeLog went down? See, the thing is, and the trick that they still pull to this day, is they don't actually stop or shut down programs. They just change names and send it on through, and people are none the wiser. They've changed ESG, I don't know how many times in the past 3 years. I've lost count. I try and keep track, but I've lost count. It's not ESG anymore. They've changed it so many times. And that's why we continue to see reports. ESG is dead. ESG is dying. ESG isn't working. This company's giving up ESG. They're really not. It's just changed names. Still the same program is in action, though. So they did the same thing with this. LifeLog is a DARPA-created program based upon total surveillance that had to happen with 9/11, and then it became Facebook. Pretty interesting how that works. But this is, again, just a good reminder. I know a lot of people know about that, but it's just a good reminder of they're always using these types of programs in order to manipulate people's minds, to get around laws, to change the names of them so people can't keep track of what is what and where's what going and who's doing what and everything. And so it causes confusion and manipulation while they continue to push these things forward. So it doesn't end. It just continues to shift, continues to change. And it's this information gathering that allows the AI algorithms to absolutely run wild. It allows them to run wild and be able to predict our movements and our daily lives. Again, I talked about the digital twin simulation programs that they're constantly running. Again, they're constantly running these things because they can base a social profile built upon all of the stuff that they know about us. Every little detail about our lives, they know about us. So all that personal data allows the AI access to learn and predict our movements, thoughts, reactions, etc., and based it all upon our beliefs, our likes, dislikes, preferences, and past history, and all that type of stuff. And so that's why AI is able to do what it does today, because there's so much digital information out there, and we continue to put more onto the digital sphere, which allows AI more access to it. Now, it's this part of the pre-crime programs that have grown since the 9/11 era. And so there's been so many different systems and programs out there, all designed based upon the events, the false flag events out there. And so I can't go over all of them. But pretty much they use false flags in order to push things forward. And this is something, again, all throughout history. You just go to things like the Reichstag fire, which kicked off World War II. Talk about the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, which kicked off World War I. You look at the Gulf of Tonga incident, where basically they fired upon their own ship in order to get them involved with these wars. And they continue to manipulate and use false flags to do it. 9/11 is another one of those. And there's different ones out there. And so in order to get public appeal, in order to get governments on board, in order to push themselves in the direction that they want to go, they have to do these types of things in order to get it done. And so 9/11 was a mega piece of the whole pre-crime programs. And so this allows programs to move forward like DARPA's Theory of Mind program. So if we take a look at this. Now, anybody who's watched my End Times New Age series knows Theory of Mind is one of those metaphysical religions that I've talked about before. It's the idea of the collective mind creates things. Like the reason why the sky is blue is because the majority of people believe it's blue in the world. If the majority of people in the world believed that the sky was purple, all of a sudden it would change the purple. And so that's the premise, a very basic premise of Theory of Mind. And a lot of things like new thought and power of positivity and positive thinking and good vibes and stuff comes from the root of Theory of Mind. And so it's one of those things that has to do with the collective conscious thinking that creates the reality in front of us. So if you have a positive thinking, you can manifest something in front of you. And so I think it's interesting that DARPA is naming this AI program off of Theory of Mind, which is pretty fascinating. And so again, going back to sam.gov, this is on their contract stuff is now active. And Theory of Mind says DARPA is interested in developing new capabilities to enable national security decision makers to optimize strategies for deterring or incentivizing actions by adversaries. Now, this is where things get so general and so broad. They never describe what an adversary is. They just say an adversary of DARPA. Well, in my mind, that reads us. That's what I think it reads. But again, they just leave it so open, so broad that we have no idea what the adversary is. And so DARPA, again, I'll reread this. DARPA is interested in developing new capabilities to enable national security decision makers to optimize strategies for deterring or incentivizing actions by adversaries. As such, the agency is searching for new technical solutions in this space. Actions are determined by situational awareness, ideas of risks and rewards, overarching strategy. The goal of an upcoming program will be to develop an algorithmic theory of mind to model adversary situational awareness and predict future behavior. So this is a pre-crime system. Basically, they want to take the information, put it into this AI program, which will predict how their adversaries will move. And so this will allow them to have a theory of that person's mind, their adversary's mind, and be able to have better situational awareness and predict their future behavior. The program will seek to combine algorithms with human expertise to explore in a modeling and simulation environment. So this is like the next level of the digital twin simulation. That's how I'm reading it. And it says potential courses of action in national security scenarios with far greater breadth and efficiency than is currently possible. So this is like next level of that program. This would provide decision makers with more options for incentive frameworks while preventing unwanted escalation. The program will seek not only to understand an actor's current strategy, but also to find a decomposed version of the strategy into relevant basis vectors to track strategy changes under non-stationary assumptions. So yeah, this is, again, the next level of simulation, the next level of utilizing data to predict our future. So, I mean, we've seen this in movies. I don't know how many times. I mean, one of the big ones, of course, is the Minority Report. And they take it to the supernatural level, which I think plays a part in this. I'll talk about that in just a second. But they have like 3 clairvoyant people that are they're like the sisters, and they manage to be able to like see into the future and stuff like that. But what's interesting with the Minority Report is it's all based about pre-crime. Basically, they go in, they see a crime before it happens, and they arrest the person before it happens. And sometimes the person doesn't even know what crime they're about to commit, and yet they know ahead of time that it's going to happen. And so it's fascinating that we're seeing this come out in front of us. We're not only through technology, but again, when we look at AI, I think it's a supernatural program. I'll talk about that in just a second. But we've got another movement here, another advancement that DARPA, again, if they're putting this stuff out, something tells me it's already there. Again, technology is at least 10 years advanced that we can't see. But still, they're telling us ahead of time that they are indeed watching us. And so this is only one of many systems designed to ID us, track us, gather our information, and then predict our behavior. And so I've talked about several of these programs as well. There was one from the Department of Defense called the DEEP Pre-Crime Program. Anybody remember that one? The DEEP program. This was a program that was brought in by Bill Barr and Donald Trump during his first administration. And there was a guy, Safe Home, I believe it was called. There's an original program called Safe Home that had to do with determining somebody's mental health and if they'll become an active shooter. And this guy brought it in. He was already friends with Donald Trump, and he brought it in, and they took the idea and transformed it into the DEEP program, which has to do with monitoring people's mental health to determine if they're going to be a threat. And so this is part of this pre-crime system. And what it's designed around is utilizing wearable items that will constantly monitor us. Things like Fitbits, things like monitoring rings, things even like pacemakers and stuff like that, and different technology that we wear on us. They have like smart headbands and stuff now that has to do with reading the person's mental capability and seeing when they get angry, when they get sad, and all these types of things, because there's different frequencies for emotions. And so they'll take that information, run it through an AI program, and determine if that person's going to become violent. If they believe that you are, your name gets a red flag, and they're going to be watching over you. And this is about the same time that we started seeing like the red flag laws and started seeing more aggression towards the guns and everything like that start to come into play. But this DEEP program was designed specifically to use technology to monitor health and predict if that person is going to commit a violent act or not. So this kind of falls in line again with the theory of mind system that DARPA is trying to put into play, if they haven't already put it into play yet. And so this adds on to a recent report from the U.S. Government Accountability Office, or GAO, that states that the government is using over 20 technologies to watch you, all without a warrant. Isn't that comforting? And so GAO, Government Accountability Office, this is a private, non-government affiliated group here. And they're basically watchdogs for the government. And it says law enforcement, DHS could better address bias, risk, and enhance privacy protections for technologies used in public. It's coming from December 3rd, 2024. It says we reviewed how Department of Homeland Security law enforcement agencies use detection and monitoring technologies without warrants. These include drones and pole-mounted cameras used in public. This can raise civil rights, civil liberties, and privacy concerns. It says DHS uses over 20 technologies such as facial recognition and license plates readers. Doesn't always address key privacy protections and policies, such as ensuring only relevant personal information is collected. Plans to evaluate AI-enabled technologies for the risk of bias, but doesn't require evaluations for other technologies. Over 20 technologies constantly watching us without a warrant. Over 20 technologies. Think about that. Always watching. Always watching over us. Facial recognition, cameras, the license plates readers. There's different radars out there. We've got things. It's backdoor access through our phones, whatever we put online. All these things, all these technologies are being used in order to collect our data and to watch over us. I've talked about some stuff. There's like the IARPA Haystack program that has to do with using AI and algorithms to determine people's movements and behaviors even off grid. They can watch you when you're off grid, even underground. They're able to watch you with that program. I've talked about the Briar program, which has to do with using recognition software where somebody can be walking the other direction. They don't even need your face anymore, but they can ID and determine who you are based solely upon how you walk, your movements. And it compares it to its library of history of all of the movement data that it's collected on you. Then there's other programs out there. They've got heartbeat monitors now, which is not like what you have in a hospital, but it's a laser that they can shoot at somebody. Each individual has a specific heartbeat, kind of like how we all have different fingerprints, or heartbeats also have the same thing, which I think is pretty fascinating. Again, God is awesome at what he creates, but they can identify us through with a laser pointed at our chest with our heartbeats. This technology is being used constantly to watch us and monitor us. This stuff is everywhere. And I'm not telling you guys to panic. I'm not telling you guys that, to freak you out or scare you or anything like that. This is something that I still, again, I get questions all the time of, well, how do I protect myself from having them watch me? What do I do? And the only answer I can tell you is you can't. In today's day and age, there's nothing that you can do to stop them from watching you. It's just not possible. If they want to know who you are, they want to know what you're doing and who you are, they're going to be able to do it. And so it's one of those things where I tell you this not to scare you, not to freak you out, not to try and, fight back or anything, because you're not going to win. I try and tell you this in order to just stop worrying about it. That's the biggest thing. Stop worrying about it. That's not admitting defeat, because I know people that go talk to me 7 years ago and I would be can't accept that. I'm going to fight back in any type of way because that's just how I was. And then we'd look at it now and go, this isn't defeat. This isn't giving up. This isn't anything like that. It's just something that we have to realize as Bible believing Christians, that the time that we live in right now, this is what it's going to be like. And we can't spend our time worrying about this, trying to fight back against something that we're not going to be able to win against. Well, there's no point in having all this fear about this type of stuff. Just whatever. Live your life in a Christian way that if they're watching you, then hopefully Big Brother, whoever's sitting there watching your monitor that day, is going to see Christ coming through you and is going to accept the Lord. It's one of, I heard this, I don't remember who it was. This was like 10, 15 years ago. But they said, if I'm standing in a courtroom and they're accusing me of being a Christian, I want them to be able to throw the whole book of law at me because of how I've lived my life that way. And so it's the same thing of always being watched and monitored in today's digital sphere. It's like, just why worry about it? You can't beat it. Let's just focus on what we need to focus on. And let's continue to do what we need to do while we're here. See, that's something else that Satan wants to do all the time. He wants to constantly give us these new things to distract us and take us away from what we should be doing. So many people are panicking about, how do I prepare for this? And how do I fight against this? How do I stop this? And realizing that we shouldn't be worrying about any of that stuff. We should just be worried about what we're called to do from the Lord. The Lord doesn't tell us to worry. The Lord doesn't tell us to panic. The Lord doesn't tell us to try and fight back against technological advancement. The Lord tells us to share the gospel and to warn people of what is coming. And so that's what we need to be doing right now. So again, if you're one of those people that's always asking, how do I stop them from watching me? I'm telling you right now, you can't. You just can't. And spending time worrying about how to fight back against it is not gonna do any good. You're just being distracted from what we actually need to be focusing on. So just want to put that out there. Again, constantly watching us. There's nothing we can do. Give them something. If all of a sudden being a Christian is crime, give them something where they're going to throw the book at you, because that's what matters. That's what we need to worry about. That's what we need to focus on. But with so many programs running on AI and AI algorithms and all these, AI things, how do they control it? See, that's the thing, is they've got so many different AI algorithms out there, so many different AI programs, so many different AI machines all running in their own direction. How do you get it? How do you get it under control? How do you get it under one system? Well, at the 2024 Doha Forum in Qatar, the WEF president, Borj Brande, every time I think of Borj, I think of borscht, that cold soup. Anyways, President Borj Brande claimed that there needs to be one algorithm that controls all the other algorithms. Pretty interesting. Check this out.
Both the G2, China and the US, 50% of the global economy, knows that the nation that comes out of this century on top of the new technology will also be the most powerful nation. These are superpowers without superpowers. And I know that the future superpower is Gen AI. And Gen AI, as you alluded to, can be a force for good. It can increase productivity with 10% in the coming decade. That's a lot of prosperity. But I think it's a good idea that the humans are on top of the algorithms and not the algorithms on top of the humans. And what we hope for is that both Beijing and DC will agree on that and at least can create some guardrails and some traffic rules that can make sure that algorithms don't come out of control. That is, of course, to be seen, but I think we need an agreement on an algorithm above the algorithms, maybe an algorithm that can control that the algorithms do work in the interest of humankind.
We're going to come back to that. The algorithm that controls the algorithm. Like the ring that powers them all. Jared, your view.
Pretty interesting that now they're calling for one AI system to control all of the other systems. Again, it's all about creating this one world system, even wrangling in all of the other AI programs. So this is one of those things where, again, when we look at the one world system, when we look at getting back to Babel, there's the one world economy, one world government, one world religion, one world language. And it seems, again, we can only base things off of, the information that we have now. It seems all of that is going to be running on some type of AI system. I think there's going to be some type of quantum in there as well. And both quantum and AI are supernatural computing systems. But in order to wrangle in, because we can see now, just again, based on what we see in today's world, we can see technology being used in the government. We can see technology being used in the economy, and we can see technology being used in the religion. We see all of technology unloading into the three pillars that hold up the beast system. And what's interesting to me is if you have AI rolling through all three of these systems, these pillars that hold up the beast system, you're going to need a way to control all those algorithms, all those AI systems at once. And what Borj is talking about here is he wants one AI algorithm that will oversee all of the other AI algorithms, making sure that they all run in order. And so this is actually something that I've never thought about until I saw this. Because I always thought, well, yeah, you just have AI in all these things and they'll build it up and then you can have somebody, using these things to do it. But that's very messy. It's extremely messy when you have thousands of different AI algorithms all rolling around out there. Even if you have somebody like the Antichrist on the scene, that's still going to get messy to try and control all of that. What's the best way to do it? You connect all of those algorithms to one specific one, and then the AC can just use that one AI system to control everything else. And now all of a sudden you have this giant network of a supernatural computing system that has its tentacles in every bit out there needed to rule a one world system, and it can all be ruled by one AI program. And so again, this was just one of those things that I never really thought about before until this, and I think it's interesting. Now, I'm sure there's some people going, "Oh, you never thought it? I thought of that." 5 years ago. It's like whatever. But still, I think that answers some questions. I think that cleans some stuff up. Obviously, there's still a ton more questions and a lot more mess out there. But I certainly think that does clean some stuff up if they were to go that route. Again, they're talking about it. And based off the information that we have now, that seems like the route they're going to go, but things can change pretty quickly. But just based upon that, I think it's interesting. The other thing that I find fascinating that he said was it's the this GI system is basically, it uses its superpowers without superpowers. And he's probably just being, none the wiser, tongue in cheek about it. But again, when you look at that, just change the name to supernatural. It's a supernatural system. To them, it appears like superpowers. But for those who read scripture and know about the spiritual fight going on and know a little bit about AI, it's not superpowers. It's supernatural. It's a supernatural system. And so I think he's just, without even realizing it, he's giving us a little insight to that this thing really is a supernatural system that can be used to maintain a one world order that we read about in scripture. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was a fascinating little nugget there. I try to find that. You don't want to read into things too much because there's some people that read into things way too much out there. But it's also one of those things where you can catch little things like that kind of make sense, that fit in. And I don't know, that one stood out to me. It's like superpowers without superpowers. And I'm like, well, what if it's actually supernatural, man? What if it's actually supernatural? So, but yeah, so that's kind of what I got when it comes to technology. And surveillance and all this type of stuff. We got some pretty if you don't know the Lord and whatnot, you'd probably say this is some freaky stuff. But for us who do know the Lord, nothing really to worry about. That's for sure. So, all right, what do we got with questions? What you guys got going on here? What is going on here? There we go. Okay. Sorry, having a little malfunction there. I got it. Okay. Let's see here. Patrick Starr. Question: even though it's all theater, do you think there's any truth to Vivek or Elon replacing Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House soon? You're probably making reference to the Mike Lee comments that he came out and he said that they want to oust Mike Johnson and put in Elon or Vivek. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's interesting because Mike Johnson is he's part of that group, part of that team, the Trump and Musk and Vivek and RFK and stuff. He's all friends with them. He's always around them, always working with them and stuff. So if they were to oust him, there's clearly something there that has to do with giving one of those two guys some type of power. I haven't looked into it, but I have heard that the Speaker of the House actually doesn't need to be part of a congressman connected to the House, which I think that's kind of weird. But again, that's what I've heard. So don't take that as Will Zeck said. Don't do that. I'm just going off what I heard. But if they did, because I know the relationship that Mike Johnson has with those guys, it would be for a specific reason. What that reason would be, I have no idea. So it's one of those, we just got to wait and see. If they pull it off, there's a specific reason that they would do it. So that's really all I can give you, Patrick. Don't put anything past them now, because this is the time where I think that they are going to, this is the time of getting stuff done. They are going to power through and get this stuff set up. And I think if they're going to do it, there's a specific reason why, and it's for getting this stuff done. Absolutely. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Blessed and Saved question. Can you please tell me in which podcast you talked about the Ezekiel war and the true meaning of Israel dwelling safely? I don't think I've done something like that. As far as the true meaning of Israel dwelling safely, you might be talking about when I had Steve, the tour guide, on, because we kind of talked a little bit about that. I haven't done a podcast, anything on that. I don't teach Bible, so that's out of my area. But if you go check out on my channel, I had Steve, the tour guide, on like 2 months ago, I think, and I think we talked a little bit about that. So maybe that's what you're asking for. But other than that, I don't have anything specifically about that. Let's see here. Plant Girl K question. Can it know about you even if you're not on social media? Anything public about you, because there's programs out there that you can look up people's like addresses and phone numbers and stuff, even if you don't have social media. And so, yeah, that information, I'm guessing you're talking about the glasses. Yeah, that information, as long as it's on a site like that, I believe that they can. So even if you don't have social media. Let's see here. Alexandria Rogers. If I live off grid, will those drones hovering be able to track me? Drones, satellites, planes, they got everything that can track you. So yeah, again, the IARPA Haystack program, that was a video I did a long time ago, but you can still find it on my channel. Is all about it's designed specifically to maintain monitoring and tracking surveillance on people off grid. Even if they're underground, they can still track you. So yes, again, off grid, doesn't matter. They're still watching you. So again, like I said earlier, doesn't matter what you do. They are watching you. Just continue to do what the Lord has called you to do. Be busy in his work. And that's how it should be. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know that's just kind of like a nonchalant way. I'm not trying to put you off or anything, Alexandria. It's just one of those things where just don't worry about it. Anybody who's fearful of them watching you, let's just keep our eyes on the prize. Because remember, they may be watching us, but God's watching them. And if God's for us, got nothing to worry about. That's how I look at it. Let's see here. Jeffrey Crone question: do they still sell those X-ray glasses advertised in comic books in the 60s? Yeah, those X-ray with the my mom wouldn't let me order them for some reason. I always wanted one of those too, but unfortunately that was just a little after my time, which I thought was disappointing. I always wanted those X-ray specs. But yeah, no, it's I don't know, it seems like that's becoming more of a reality now, Jeffrey, to be honest. Find them in the comic books or in the you have to send in so many box tops from the cereal box, get the X-ray glasses and stuff. Yeah, those are good times. Jalapena question: what do you think about Google's Willow quantum chip and multiverse, and how will it all, or how it may be used in the B system? It's moving on me. There we go. Okay. Used in the B system, and are the quantum chips like that besides Google's? I know what you're talking about, Pena. I actually have been collecting a whole bunch of information on that. I just haven't dived into it yet. I plan on talking about it because they're talking about how they can get to like the quantum, a whole new like multiverse type of reality type of thing. So I know what you're talking about. I'm gathering information on it. I'll talk about it soon. That's the best I can say. Yeah, that's what I mean. Quantum is definitely a supernatural system for sure. That has to do with using different dimensions and dark matter and stuff like that. Things that's above my head, but I definitely do my best. But I know what you're talking about, man. I'll see what I can do for you. James Richard, respectfully, is the bear a one-eyed symbol? No, it is not. People again are reading into things so much. Have you ever had a bear that lost an eye? A teddy bear that lost an eye? I have. I've had many of them, and I love them very much. So people have said you're there's like the whole panda club thing and stuff like that, guys. I'm glad that you kind of put this in here because this is my chance to talk about it. Every single thing that I've done on my channel, I've had people have a problem with. Every single thing. I've had people email me and say I'm disrespectful and need to not wear my hat backwards. I've had people tell me that the lights behind me are evil and occultic and I shouldn't have them. I've had people complain that I have my stuff on screen, like my social medias and stuff on screen, saying that that's you're being a beggar and you're monetizing things. I've had people get mad at me because I call men dudes and I call women chicks, and people get angry. I've had people who dislike the Watchtower name. I've had people who dislike the Prophecy Misfits name. I've had people who disliked my lighthouse logo that I had before I had my beard and cap. I've had people who dislike my beard and cap logo. I have people who dislike beard or fits the bear logo. It's people will read into whatever they want to read into. People will make a big deal out of anything that they want to, and people will be offended by things. I can't make anybody happy. The only way that I would be able to make anybody happy is if I just stop doing the show altogether, because then there's nothing that they can get offended about, nothing that they can get messed up about. I'm very aware of all the symbolism out there. How many shows, I've lost count of how many shows I've done talking about symbolism. Do you guys really think that I would put a symbol or a logo out there that had some type of secret thing on there on purpose? I don't think so. I'm not getting mad at anybody. I'm not getting irritated at anybody. I'm not getting upset at anybody, but it's just one of those things where people will always have a problem with anything that I do. And to you guys, I respectfully and kindly tell you, tough luck. Deal with it. That's all I can say. If you have a problem with something, I can't help you. I'm just going to continue to do what I do. Now, a lot of people will probably get angry that I just said that. I don't care, honestly. When you finally, if you have such a problem with how I do things, go start your own YouTube channel, and then you can deal with all of the people coming at you saying that they're offended by whatever you're doing. Then you'll see what it's like. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So, no, the bear has absolutely no symbolism, but it is a toy teddy bear that lost an eye, that's on the island of misfit toys, and he has the cross on his chest because all that matters is Jesus Christ is with him. That's all that means. That's all that means. So, moving on. Patrick Starr, question: do you think gun ownership in the United States will be banned at some point before the rapture? I don't think before the rapture, but I think martial law will be coming into play at some time, which, of course, that has to do with taking away the guns. But I don't think it's going to happen before the rapture. Not like mass, walking streets, going door to door, confiscating guns. I don't see that happening. That's just me, though. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Jacques 007. What's up, Bond? Shaken, not stirred. Sorry. Jacques. Question: I don't celebrate Christmas, but what is your take on Christmas carols? So many churches still sing and use carols. I mean, those are the churches that do the Christmas stuff too. So it's one of those things. I don't do the Christmas thing. I've explained why. I've gone through all the history of all that, but I don't look down upon, or I don't attack or have an issue with others that do. I mean, it's just that's where we are. That's the tradition of what it is. So Christmas carols are just like wrapped up into the Christmas and music stuff, and you just got to take it from there. So, Terry Kissamore, question: do the phone sleeves like Silent Pocket, so like the Faraday bag stuff, the block Cindos really help at all? There's real ones out there, and then there's scam ones out there. There are real Faraday bags and lock boxes and stuff that you can get that really do block signals. They've tested them. But those are usually the expensive ones, because all the other cheapo ones are usually ones that say that's what they do, but they really don't. So you got to just do some research and make sure you get the real one. That's the best way to do it on that. Okay, Victoria Roger, question. Can you explain what you believe is a supernatural computing system? I get the idea what it is, but would like to hear you talk about it more. Yeah, I've talked about it in the past before. I'll just kind of give you an idea. So a supernatural computing system is a system that either does something that it's not designed to do in a more supernatural way, or it does something that's not physically possible. So like in the terms of quantum computing, now there's many, again, this is just a quick little thing because you can go deep on quantum because it gets into dark matter and dimensional stuff and everything. But the main premise of like quantum computing is how regular computers work is it's the binary code of ones and zeros. And there's a switch that keeps going back and forth, switching between 1 and 0. And there's a whole bunch of them. And that's how it communicates and talks and does all the things that it does. The quantum computing system basically flips ones and zeros at the same time. They say that's not possible. They say it's not physically possible, but yet it does it. And so that is a supernatural system. It is beating reality. It is beating physical standards that we live upon and doing something supernatural, going above and beyond something that's reality. And so that's when you start diving into the interdimensional stuff that quantum can do. That's when you start diving into dark matter and time warps and time crystals and stuff like that that's connected to it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there that beats reality, and it physically does something that it should not be able to do. And so in terms of quantum, that's a supernatural computing system. You look at something like AI. AI is one of those systems where it's designed to be programmed to be able to do tasks, but decide to do those tasks on its own. That's really what AI is supposed to do. AI is now at the point where it's starting to think on its own. It's starting to write its own code. It's starting to create brand new proteins and materials. It's starting to create things and think on its own and build upon itself. And so AI is now programming its own AI systems, allowing it to go above and beyond anything that a human can do. So now it's starting to think on its own. That's a supernatural computing system. That's something that it should not be able to do, but it's doing. And so when you look at those systems and they can work there, I've talked about this before in the past, they've got programs that are making AI and quantum now be able to communicate with each other. When those things start humming together, you've got some nasty business going on that the Antichrist can use, as well as a demonic possession on those systems. And so that's what I would classify as supernatural computing system. Hopefully that makes sense. It was kind of a quick thing, but I hope that answers your question. Let's see here. James McCown, question: what do you think the most exciting thing to look for in 2025? War, economy, Israel. Right now, baby, be watching Israel. That's the thing to be watching for sure right now. I don't talk much. I do a little bit of talking on Israel here, but I don't do much on it because I'm just not as well educated about it. I look into things, I keep track of things. I'm always watching what's going on, but I'm not one of those people that I can sit here and do like an entire thing about Israel. So I don't want to, talk about things that I don't know. But even I have to say, be watching Israel. That's what we need to be watching for sure. Because right now we can see God's attention turning more and more and more over to Israel. And the moment he's got both of his eyes on Israel, we're out of here. So that's what we need to be watching for sure. So definitely Israel for 2025. Mel ETX question: are you familiar with the late Dave Hunt? Yeah, love Dave Hunt. If not, recommended. His YouTubers are posted here and there. Yeah. Berean Call, Dave Hunt, T.A. McMahon. Yeah, big time. Yeah, big fans of Hunt, and both Hunt and McMahon. McMahon doesn't get talked about very much, but he's right up there. So yeah, great dudes. Mel ETX question. Also, are you familiar with Chris Pinto? Yep, I'm familiar with Pinto and all the documentaries and stuff he's done as well, and his radio program and everything. Yes. All right, just last 3 questions here. Dude, where's my rapture? You win. Best name for sure. The dude, where's my rapture? Canadian question. Do you think Satan/AI struggles with counterfeiting the breath of God when God says, let us create man in our image? In humans, the enemy can't bestow creativity. Okay, so I think what you're asking is God, or not God, is Satan ultimately trying to find a way around like creating his own beings? Is that what you're trying to ask? Do you think Satan struggles with counterfeiting when God says? I wouldn't say they're struggling with it. I mean, they're moving pretty forward with it. AI and robotics, and I've talked about different programs where they're trying to upload people's consciousness to computers to live on through robots and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Satan is using anything he possibly can, technology-wise and biomedically, to try and like create life. He knows he can't create life. But he's going to do his best to imitate life. That's pretty much the best way to do it. So he's using anything and everything that he can to do it. If that's not your question, I'm sorry. I may have misunderstood. Okay, last couple questions here. Jeffrey Crone question. What do you think of the orbs that are showing up with the drones? Orbs are demonic spirits from my research that I've done. I did a lot of research about orbs. I didn't necessarily talk about it very much, but I did a lot of research on orbs when it comes to the Aliens and Demons series. And usually orbs are some type of demonic life force moving about. They want you to see them, not necessarily in the form that they want you to see them, though. So if we're seeing true orbs, because again, the reason why I haven't talked about the drones is because nobody has a clue what's going on. Everybody's talking like they do. Nobody has a clue what's going on. And there's many things out there that appear as orbs, like spiritual orbs that aren't. But if they're true spiritual orbs, then those are demonic entities. And last but not least, the Peanut Gallery, which she changed her name from the Peanut Gallery back to Stephanie, my bad. How do hotcakes sell? Well, it's a hot seller. They sell fast. They're going hot. The hotcakes are going hot. They're going fast. Better get them now. Actually, we just ran out. You're out of luck. You're going to have to try again next time. So, all right, guys. That's all we got with questions for today. Looks like we're doing actually good on time. So we're going to end, of course, with the most important part of this. This is why we do this. This is the whole reason why we do this is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And again, we can know all this information and we can prepare for the worst, and we can do all these things here in this life and this physical body, but ultimately if we do not have salvation that is only found through Jesus Christ, then we've got nothing. And I've talked earlier about, all these people, how we need to not be worrying about them constantly watching us and collecting data and all this stuff. Well, that was only for those of us who have Jesus Christ. If you are not saved through Jesus, then you should absolutely be panicking right now because you do not have any hope. And all the data that they're collecting on you will absolutely be used against you. So my suggestion is get to Jesus. And so we talk and we go through this as this simple gospel. Simple gospel. You admit that you're a sinner. The act of repentance, metanoia, changing of mind, turning from self to Jesus. This is the first point of belief, because how can we truly believe in Jesus Christ as our Savior if we don't understand why we need Jesus Christ as our Savior? If we walk around and we just think, yeah, I'm good, I don't sin, I'm all good, I can, just the old fable of oh well, I'm a good person, so that's enough to get me to heaven. We see it in all the movies all the time and stuff like that. That's not how it works. It's through repentance that allows us to have true belief be in Jesus Christ. We believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, the one and only. There is no other. And he lived the perfect, sinless life. Again, the one and only to do so, which means he was the only one qualified to take the sins of the world upon his shoulders and to take our place upon the cross and be crucified. He was the only one qualified to do it. And so he died upon that cross. But because there's power in the blood of Jesus, because he prophesied that he would, he said he would, he promised that he would, he defeated death and rose again on the third day. For all who believe in him shall not perish, but live forever, eternity. A time concept that we say that we understand, but we truly don't. And we will live forever in his presence and his glory, for the glory is his, not ours. Now remember, knowing and believing are two very different things. You can know the story and say the sinner's prayer, but if you don't believe, then you are not saved. Believe in Jesus Christ and see as you call upon the Lord. The simple prayer of, Lord Jesus, I am a sinner and I have sinned, and I need you alone to save me, Lord Jesus. I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God, that you came down 100% man, 100% God. You lived the perfect sinless life, that you died upon the cross, and that you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, come into my life, come into my heart, and save me. Amen. Amen. If you don't have Jesus, you got nothing. It's as simple as that. I know many people out there that they are absolute geniuses when it comes to all of the information about what is going on. They can know every little detail behind the scenes, but that means jack diddly squat if they don't have Jesus. Just remember that. Time's running out. Get to the Lord now. All right, guys. That is all I got. That's everything. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And I hope you guys had a good one. And yeah. So usual spiel, if you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That's why we do this. That is the whole goal of why we do this. I've explained this before, but I try to be the bridge, the gap between those who are just looking for the news and the conspiracies and the information and stuff like that, and the Christians in the prophecy community. I try to be that bridge to try and bring some of those people over who are looking for answers and information and stuff, and go, you know what? You're here for this, but I'm going to give you some Jesus as well. And so if you like, share, subscribe, it does help to get out there. Also, double check. YouTube is still messing around with people's channels. Double check to make sure you're still subscribed, because they're still unsubscribing people from not only my channel, but other ones as well. So don't just check if you're still subscribed here. Go check and see if you're still subscribed to the other guys as well. So make sure you guys do that. Also, if you guys can, follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. If I get booted off YouTube, we'll be backup live streaming over on Rumble. Of course, we're multi-streaming, simulcasting the YouTube, Rumble, and the website all at the same time. But again, if I get booted off YouTube, we'll be on Rumble. Odyssey is the backup to the backup type of deal. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up there as I see fit, as I feel like it. So, but yeah, I always post links to new videos and live streams and stuff like that, so you know what's going on. And then the website, WretchedWatchmen.com website, is up and running. That's your one-stop shop for all your questions, latest podcasts, video series, and announcements, and all that stuff. It's got everything on there. I've been doing a lot of work on it recently, and I think I got it to a good spot now. So yeah, that's the place to go for that. Also, the Prophecy Misfits, the Misfits merch is now live. So if you guys want to grab a shirt, there's several different designs, different colors, sweatshirts and mugs and stuff on there. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Pre-orders are live now, and then they'll be shipping out December 30th. So make sure you guys do that. Remember, all profits will be going, not false prophets, no, God gave me a vision. No, none of that stuff. But all profits of shirt sales will be being donated directly to Houston Pregnancy Help Center. That's all about helping women with unplanned pregnancies, trying to save babies from abortion, as well as giving the gospel out to people as well. So all the profits from these shirts will be going there. So be confident and take notice that it's not going to be going to me. It's not going to be going to Toby. It's going to be going to helping save lives, eternal lives and unborn lives. And I think that's a good cause. So go check that out. And then, just make sure no show Tuesday. And we'll be back on Saturday, and then no show the next Tuesday, because the next 2 Tuesdays are Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So no shows the next 2 Tuesdays. So don't show up. There's going to be nothing here. Again, I'll try and do some videos as we go throughout that. But yeah, that's all I got. So thank you guys for joining me today. And I appreciate all of you. I love all of you guys. Thank you for all you do. And if you guys would like to support this channel and what I do, I got donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. Again, this channel is not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, or anything like that. So yeah. Thank you guys for allowing me to do this. I'm so blessed, and I appreciate you guys. I thank the Lord for you guys all the time. So thank you guys for that. And so get out there, share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And if he does not come back by Saturday, same time, same place, I'll meet you guys right back here. All right, peace out. Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.